Welcome to Metcalf Money Moment, the podcast. Unlock financial clarity and confidence with expert insights to achieve your goals. Hosted by Jeb Graham, Ethan Hutcheson, and Eric Wymore. Each episode offers decades of combined expertise in wealth management, retirement planning, and more. Join us for practical strategies to inspire your financial journey. Now your hosts.
Welcome to Metcalf Money Moment, the podcast. My name is Jeb Graham, managing partner at Metcalf Partners Wealth Management, and I've got Ethan Hutcheson and Eric Wymore, partners at Metcalf Partners as well, that are co-hosts on the show. And we're here. This is our very first. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Doing good.
Well, good. Well, this is our very first podcast that we have recorded. We're super excited about it. And I think the point of this podcast today is we're actually not going to go into any subject matter too deep, other than we just kind of want to explain, what this podcast is, why we're doing it, why we're excited about it, and kind of what's going on. So as far as, what this podcast is it's our way to hopefully bring very relevant information to our client base. So not only our client base, so where you'll see this podcast is you'll see it out on social media. You'll definitely see it in all of our client newsletters. It'll be kind of available in a couple of different places. But the whole point of it is, whether it's estate planning, whether it's accounting, whether it's any sort of number of subjects, or it could be investment management. What we want to do is be able to bring very relevant information to our clients. Some of that information is going to be what we would call timely information. So maybe that's what's going on in the market today or yesterday. And maybe it's something that's kind of timeless, like talking about Roth conversions or tax management and that sort of stuff. And our hope is that our clients can maybe take tidbits of information from that. And anybody that has been a client for a while has probably seen us do what's called a Metcalf Money Moment before. And in a prior life, what a Metcalf Money Moment was is we would get on and talk for 1 to 2 minutes about some sort of subject matter, and talking to Ethan and Eric and kind of going through what our plan is with these things. We kind of decided that it was very difficult to get too deep into a topic, so we could kind of barely touch on it. And the point of this is what we want to do is take those Metcalf Money Moments, kind of pump them up a little bit, and then be able to collaborate on some of these topics in front of our clients, so that hopefully they can take tidbits information and maybe they can bring it into the next meeting with us and talk to us about something that they heard that they had been thinking about. So I know, Ethan, you and I were talking about just how little of a time that we actually get with our clients every year. So
yeah, no, it's a good point. And it is, one of the top 5 reasons that we are starting this. It's, of all the clients we have, 365 days in a year, you throw in the bank holidays and the weekends, it really, really funnels down the actual amount of time that we get to spend with clients. And we've got an annual review that we do. So we got about 1 hour per year at minimum. Second, we got a semi-annual review if we can squeeze that in, and then small little phone calls here and there. So this is going to be a really good avenue, or just another touch point that we have with our clients, and really to bring subject matter experts in, bring in guests. I would also say, if you're listening to this now and you've got some topics that you want to hear about, email one of us, and we'll try to put it on the docket and get it on an episode this year.
Yeah, absolutely, Ethan. You mentioned, clients, we don't have a ton of time with discussing with them each year. They're busy, right? They've got soccer games to go to, baseball games to go to, band concerts, and so on. Plus, they may be taking care of aging parents, or they're off in the retirement and wanting to enjoy retirement. We just don't have a ton of time to have those conversations and just to be able to retain everything that we discuss in a meeting. And we've been doing this for quite a while. And what we've really realized is that smarter clients, if we have smarter clients, they're going to ask better questions. They're certainly going to make better and more informed decisions about their financial future, and that will definitely help their bottom line throughout life.
Eric, that's a really good point. I think where you're talking about the more educated our clients are, the more, number one, we're going to be able to work with them and talk to them about certain subject matters and things like that. And I do think, our hope is that now we have this database of these podcasts, and a client can go into that, and, say they're in the middle of October and they're thinking about Roth conversion, but they're not like thinking about it enough that they're actually going to go pick up the phone and call us yet, or they're not really ready to they just want kind of in the exploratory stage. I think that's a great thing that hopefully we're going to have out there is a database of subject matter that they can kind of tap into and go from there. So want to talk a little bit about the format of the show, just so that our listeners kind of know what to expect. And we're very excited about the format. We're going to have two different episodes a month. One of them is going to be what we would call a long form episode. Sometimes we're going to have guests on the long form, sometimes not. But it's going to be mainly the three of us, I think, talking about certain subject matters and kind of trying to dive deep into them. I would even say that a lot of times we're probably going to do some case studies. So for instance, if Eric or Ethan or I were with a client last week, and basically we were kind of doing some financial planning, we hit some sort of subject that we think is relevant to a lot of other clients. Obviously, we're not going to name that client by name, but we're going to take the situation and try to kind of deep dive into that and hopefully bring some information that would help another client. So that's the long form. We're going to do one of those a month. And then on the short form, we're hopefully going to have a guest on every single one. And we've got a couple of good guests lined up for our first one. We're actually going to be recording here pretty quickly. And we've got the Greater Kansas City Community Foundation on. So they're going to talk a little bit about donor advised funds, charitable giving, and that sort of thing, which I think will be great. We also have an estate planning attorney, Eric Wymore, coming on in January. And we're going to talk about everything estate planning during that time. So we're going to have two episodes a month. And both, they're going to be a little bit different, but the whole point is, as we talked about, is going to be education. So I'm excited. I think you guys are too. I think it's going to be, number one. And the other thing that we were talking about is that it's a lot of fun in the fact that when you do a podcast or when you're coming on to teach people about things, it also makes us have to study some stuff, and we're going to pick up some information and kind of sharpen our axes along the way as well. So, but next, I think, we want to we don't want to spend too much time on this, but we do want to dig into our backgrounds just a little bit because, we were talking earlier, and I think, a lot of Eric and Ethan's clients might not know me that well. A lot of my clients might not know these guys that well. So I think, and we do work as a team at Metcalf Partners. So I think that's a great thing to just each of us kind of dig in and go through. And I'll tell you what, if one of you guys want to start and just kind of go through your background a little bit, and then I can kind of go through mine.
Sure. Elders first, Eric.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Yeah. My background is similar to your guys's. I, graduated with a degree in finance from Iowa State University. I started with a big corporation and knew immediately that I wanted some more independence in my career as I'm trying to work with, as we try to work with clients as well as entrepreneurs. We wanted to have an entrepreneurial spirit. Ended up landing at a mid-size registered investment advisory firm. Shortly after that, about a few months, Jeb, you landed there at about the same time. That's when we got to meet. We had very similar values, similar ambition, similar stages in life, and we just knew that if we were going to go far, we wanted to go work as a group and work as a team. And that's really just what spearheaded this whole thing with Metcalf Partners. And as we've gone through kind of our own rebranding of Metcalf Partners back in 2011, 2012, working in a move to a building, start acquiring other practices, move to a different space, outgrow that space. And here we are on to our new chapter in life. And that's starting a podcast. And I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, Eric, to echo some of his thoughts, it's kind of boring when we say all of our backgrounds are kind of the same, but they're really, really similar, which kind of is a good reason we're all together and partners in the organization, I think. But, I started out same as Eric, went to K-State University, got a financial services and financial management degree. And the first 9 months of my career post-college was in the life insurance sales realm, where it was just product after product after product. Who do you know? Who can you sell to? Type of thing. I couldn't quite sink my teeth into that. It's kind of funny. I called Jeb out of nowhere. I was on LinkedIn, and we had a bunch of similar connections, similar past as far as K-State goes. Same fraternity at K-State as well. And called Jeb and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. I would really like more of a financial planning role." At the time, Eric and Jeb's practice wasn't big enough to bring me on as a junior advisor, so I kind of went elsewhere for 8 or 9 years, and then kind of got the large corporate burnout from another firm, and on a whim, gave Jeb a call again. And it just so happened that there was an opening. It was a great opportunity. The timing could have been better. It was in February of 2020. So the first 3 weeks of my career here, I was, kind of on the edge of my seat watching the Dow Jones kind of crater. So interesting time, but really, really happy to be here. I love the boutique atmosphere that we bring and the real personal relationship that we have with our clients. And that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to come over to Metcalf Partners.
And it's been a great fit, with you coming on, Ethan, and obviously Eric as well. And I would say the timing, oddly enough, Ethan, like when you and I kind of reconnected later. So the timing after he connected was kind of tough because COVID happened, but it was a perfect time because I had just signed the deal to purchase another book of business, which is a pretty sizable book of business that we definitely needed help with. And so that was very timely in that regard. So I'll kind of go into my background. So I started so I was at K-State as well. I was a finance major, and I always say, the three of us, there's people that stumble into this career, and there's people that seek this career out. We are all three people that we're finance majors that actually were seeking this career out, and I was one as well. And I was a finance major at K-State. I was in the insurance I went to a big insurance company that had an advisory wing when I started. So I was there for 7 years, and basically that organization was kind of structured around, products that they manufactured. And as I kind of was there after about 5 or 6 years, I kind of got the itch to want to go to the independent route. And the main reason is that I wanted to be able to sit down with a client and give 100% fiduciary advice, knowing that I don't have sales goals for certain products or anything like that. And I actually happened to run into a guy that I also went to college with, who had just landed at V Wealth, which was the old RIA, named Dan Chera. And he introduced me to the two founders, and basically it was a perfect fit for me to kind of come over and bring, as much of my practice as I could with me there. And shortly thereafter met Eric, and Eric, you had come over and you were just, really kind of getting started as a financial advisor in that role from Bank of America in there, or learning the independent space, I guess, from kind of that. And then, as we teamed up, it kind of snowballed. And now we have, we've bought 3 books of business along the way. We've got, we now have a head trader and COO, Andy Voss, who has also been just a really great addition to our team. He does all the trading. He's running our staff and all that. So anyway, and I know I didn't want to dig too deep into our backgrounds, but it has been a really fun run here at Metcalf Partners, and wanted to make sure that everyone that's watching this podcast kind of knows why we're here, how we got here, and kind of what our firm is, what our organization is. And we're super, super excited about this. And, our next podcast, we're going to be digging into charitable giving. And we think this is a great time of year to do that because, this is when charitable giving happens, and this is when people start thinking about that. The episode will actually drop in January, so it'll be just after the charitable giving, but, a lot of planning for next year needs to happen in the beginning of the year. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So how about you? Anything else, guys? I think we're in good shape to kind of sign off now, and we're looking forward to seeing all of our listeners very soon.
Thanks for tuning in to Metcalf Money Moment, the podcast. We hope today's episode provided valuable insights to help you unlock financial clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. For more expert advice and resources, visit metcalfpartners.com. Until next time, make every money moment count.
Jeb Graham, Ethan Hutcheson, and Eric Wymore are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through WCG Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. WCG Wealth Advisors and Metcalf Partners Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial. The opinions voiced in this podcast are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a decision. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly.